Not all open world games are created equal. Some have you traverse on horseback, others on foot, and probably far too many in cars. But few seek to use the open world as a medium to make something where traversal is genuinely interesting. The Pathless, among some others that I'll discuss here, are exceptions to that rule. The Pathless is an open world adventure game from the creators of Absu, Giant Squid. In it you play as the Hunter, a girl with a bow that serves as both her primary weapon and aid to exploration. There's no map, no waypoint, no fast travel system, and no minimap. None of the tropes that we've all grown very tired of. Instead, the game's approach to movement is satisfying and unique. To get around, the player must shoot little targets called talismans. These cover the entire open world and are targets for the player to shoot. Shooting them allows the player to run, build momentum, and quickly dart around the game's 5 hub-style open world areas. Early on in the game, this mechanic is relatively straightforward, but as you progress, extra levels of complexity are added to keep things interesting. For example, to complete each area, the player must collect light stones. These are hidden in each open world area and are the main incentive for exploration. They are also needed to defeat bosses, but only 6 per area are needed to progress. In each area there is 15, and should the player find them all, they will be rewarded with a gift that enhances their range of movement. One example is the first gift that most players will receive, which is quite simply a flat-out speed boost. Another makes stamina restore passively. This might not sound like a lot, but it's an excellent example of the systems of the game working together. Exploration improves movement, and vice versa. So, the more you explore, the better you become at it because your range of movement is improved, and the more your range of movement is improved, the easier it is to explore. This is, above all, just good game design. Traversal is also somewhat of a skill test, and as you play more of the game, you'll slowly improve your abilities to chain talismans together, shooting one after the other and never losing any momentum. This gets even better when you inevitably discover half shots, also known as skill shots, whichever you prefer. This allows you to shoot talismans at twice the speed with an additional level of challenge. There's even a trophy for getting 10 in a row on PlayStation, and this encourages you to push your abilities to the limit. Things continue to get interesting as the game introduces fiery red talismans and blue talismans, the former giving a massive horizontal speed boost and the latter doing so vertically. I like this because it's the game diversifying pre-existing mechanics, so it doesn't feel ham-fisted, but also it keeps things nice and fun. And speaking of vertical movement, what an amazing segue, the Pathless has another big trick up its sleeve in the form of your eagle companion. This friendly little guy can be grabbed onto to allow the player to shoot up vertically. Similar to the good game design mentioned before, the same applies to upgrading your little bird friend. As you explore, you will find little puzzles in the vein of Breath of the Wild's Korok seeds, and completing these rewards you with crystals, which in turn upgrades how many flaps of the bird's wings you get. As you get further into the game, these become utterly essential, plus who wouldn't want to upgrade this little guy? With these mechanics combined, it leads us to the game's ultimate challenge of how to use them. And possible spoilers here, but it's the boss battles. Each of these begins with a chase where you must hunt down, with little room for error, the 4 main bosses, and that is excluding the final boss. The chases are fun and adrenaline fueled, often multi-stage to ensure variety, and the final stage of each boss generally tests your abilities to the limit. A favourite of mine would be the 3rd boss, which very cruelly steals your eagle buddy from you, which of course is one of your fundamental movement mechanics. This requires the player to adopt their playstyle, and thus keeps things very engaging. Therefore the game, not just by increasing movement, but also by taking it away, uses it to make the game fun. As I mentioned earlier, the game rejects many of the open world tropes, such as game maps. This means that the world itself has to have a distinctive and memorable feel to it. It does so through landmarks primarily, such as the bright glowing towers that are dotted throughout each hub area, but also more subtly, things need to be designed in a way that makes the world feel real and makes it feel genuine. You have things like castles and towers and all sorts of weird skeletons and other things dotted throughout the world, which gives it a genuine feeling, and left me walking around the open world like,
ooh, a piece of candy. 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 Ooh, a piece of candy.
This trail of treats approach to game design, combined with the satisfying movement, means that just existing in the world of the Pathless is consistently fun. The Pathless is, by no means, the only open world to make moving around fun. It is, to my mind though, an excellent example of it. Some other great examples would be Just Cause 3 with the wingsuit and grappling hook mechanics, Spider-Man PS4 as well as Spider-Man 2 for making you feel like... I forgot. Sunset Overdrive with its grinding mechanic, and I'm sure that there are other games that could be named here too. The point is though, it's only a relatively small list, and the problem is that too many games don't see movement as a gameplay mechanic, but just see it as something necessary to get you from A to B. Take, for example, Grand Theft Auto. The reality, displayed by the Pathless, is that there is a lot of potential here. Why walk around when I can say jump, flip, sprint, and glide my way to my destination? This is the lesson that designers should derive from the Pathless. Don't take movement for granted, make it something special, and integrate it with the open world mechanics. Thank you very much for watching my latest video. Thank you most of all to my patrons and supporters, as well as Hot Cider for his help with the thumbnail. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and until next time, see you later.